What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Base Fuego and Sonrisa podcast.
Let's
go. Yeah. Today we have a special guest. We have a Bay Area native. Everybody, give a round of applause to your very favorite comedian, Alex Woody.
Hey.
Yeah, do a cha-cha slide.
Shout out to all the blacks, Mexicans, Indian people, all my fans out there. I love you guys.
Yeah,
Not too many white people like my humor. It's usually POCs that like me, so that's cool. Old white women, they run away. They're like, "Oh my god, what did you say?"
That means you're doing something right?
Yeah. I know. I mentioned OxyContin at the last show, and the lady was like, "Oh my god, my son." I was like,
"Oh man, wow,
yeah."
Yeah, Alex. But for the people who don't know you on our side, can you give us a little background about your whole story?
Yeah, name's Alex Woody. I'm 5'10", 5'11".
Ayo.
I hold my weight pretty well. I'm actually like almost 270, but I look like 250, I would say.
All muscle, huh?
All muscle.
Yeah.
It's all cock. It's all penis. It's all ass too. No, I got a flat ass. I'm white. You know, white people got flat asses. But
it just carries down.
That's how I know I'm German and Irish. All the just gross, just cold. People always got boogers coming out of their nose. I don't even have to do the 21andMe. You know, I know. My body, pimples and freckles and hair. I'm like, Braveheart, right? But and you know what? You know what's creepy about that 21andMe is you can find out what you'll die from most likely.
Oh, what the heck?
Fuck that! I
don't like a final destination.
Yeah, I know it's creepy. I mean, they'll tell you like, "Oh, you'll probably die of this cancer." You know what I mean? And, horrible. But anyways, I'm a comedian. I'm also got ADD, obviously. And
hey, right there with you.
I started doing before I got into comedy. I started doing a podcast, and I would do it in my car.
Oh,
I was so like, you know, I got a wife and kid, and I was like, and we live in an apartment, and I was so. I gotta close this Pornhub window here. I was so like, I don't want them to hear me. I gotta be in the zone. And then eventually I got used to it, and I didn't give a shit what they hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's probably the stuff they hear, you know, and they might want to hear it, you know. But they probably don't. But anyways, so and then someone said, "Have you ever thought about doing comedy?" Like my cousin. So I just rant on the podcast about, you know, movies and whatever. And then I started I started doing stand up, and I've been doing stand up for like 4 years now.
Man, nice.
And I was hanging out with Mary Jane. That's why I'm kind of like slow and up.
She has that power with everybody.
You guys smoke?
Nah.
Once in a while,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are good. You guys are fucking good kids. Not even cigars.
It's mostly tequila for me, at least. Yeah. Tequila and beer.
Maybe if I win 6 rings like Jordan, I'll for sure have my cigar.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, you could get divorced 6 times, you know. So I got
a lot of lives.
And for real, I should eventually. I will, but I still have like one of the very first videos I did stand up, and it's incredibly embarrassing. I'm basically just yelling in the video.
Oh, the
heck? No one was paying attention. You go. I don't know if you've ever been to an open mic, but some of them are brutal. I don't really do them anymore. I try to do shows because at least people are there for comedy. Open mic, it's like someone will set up speakers and a microphone in a bar, or someone's like watching a game or something. It's the worst when a Warriors game on. Someone goes, "Hey, surprise comedy night," you know, and everyone's like, "What?" They don't know. No one ever knows at open mic there's comedy. And then you're competing with Steph Curry.
Yeah.
It's Steph Curry's greatness, right? So it was me yelling at these people. My friends that went, they thought I was gonna get stabbed.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like making fun of people, but anyways, it's gotten better, and I was like kind of like legitly mad a little bit. I was just off the rocker. I don't know. I'm still off the rocker, but I learned not to get mad on stage because bad things. Even though one time I got mad on stage, and this guy who books a bunch of shows, he thought it was funny, my meltdown.
Mhm.
And he'll never forget it, and he tells people, and so he likes me after that. So sometimes a negative could be a positive. You know what I mean?
Hey, got you
Actually,
going,
that's why I
man.
kind of like comedy, because you get applause. You're like, oh, I'm fat, I had small dick. And I was like, oh, 20 jokes right there. It's like my disadvantages are advantages in comedy. It's kind
Yeah,
of cool.
yeah, yeah, it works. Yeah, it
It's the
I
right
works.
platform to do all
I
that.
look like a Woody. I mean, I had a mustache for yesterday's show. I had a mustache just to do pedophile jokes. And I did a joke. I'm gonna post a video. I did a joke saying like, "Oh yeah, I look like a PE teacher, right?" And this one guy stood up. He's like, "I'm a PE teacher." Like kind of like hostile.
Oh, he took offense to it.
Kind of be cool a little bit on stage to keep the flow going, right?
Mhm.
And I'm hosting the show. It's like I'm the first one, and I said, I made fun of him because he's wearing a sweatshirt that said Rogue. And I'm like, yeah, I could tell you go rogue. Like your friends are embarrassed. He sat down, but then they weren't really listening. And then I said something like, yeah, I also look like a pedophile. Anyone over there gonna stand up being upset that I'm making fun of their pedophile job, So it was good. I got a little dig. And they eventually went outside, but shows can be wild where you gotta deal with this table and I
So
think
that's a good question. So how do you like? Every comedian, I guess, has a different way of dealing with hecklers. How do you deal with hecklers?
Well, like, I don't know. It's like kind of in a moment kind of thing. Like,
Yeah,
I told people I was gonna stab him in the face.
I saw that.
Yeah. So like, and like people were joking, like laughing about that. So it's kind of a way to do it, and I'll release that clip. A guy filmed it, so I had multiple cameras.
Hmm.
So I'm waiting for him to give me the footage, but I don't know. It's weird. You can't get mad. If you
Yeah.
get mad, you lose them because that's happened to me, and then it's unfair that other comedians have to follow you. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, it goes
One
on.
time I yelled at a lady because she stopped my joke. She's like, I did a joke about ICE, the people that,
Yeah.
round up illegal people. And she's like, my friend's illegal. And now, if I would have played that now, I could have just had fun. And it's good to make fun of them because then they won't say anything. And then the
Yeah.
crowd's like, yeah. And actually, my last podcast, check out my podcast, Minute on the Bay. My
Mhm.
last episode, I talked with a comedian that had to handle a heckler. And he just got the crowd to say, like, fuck you, to the guy, like, fuck JP, right?
Yeah.
But this lady, I got mad. I'm like, my wife's Mexican, you dumb bitch, just I just started, being really angry. And I mean, it ruined the show, but the comedians had fun. Like this black guy went up after me and he was like, I'm ice, You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, but I walked by that lady on purpose and she didn't say anything to me. So there are these people, it's kind of like the online people, they like to talk shit, but then once you go at them,
Yeah.
they look down. They're not real. I mean, it's bullshit. And what's funny is I got flack for that. There's people that were at the show that were like, oh, he had a Michael Richards moment. I'm like, I didn't say the N-word a bunch of times. You know what I'm talking about? Michael Richards, he freaked out on stage. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Nah.
No? The
No.
guy from Seinfeld. You guys seen Seinfeld?
Yeah.
You know that
I
tall
have.
guy with the big hair?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Kramer?
He did, yeah, Kramer.
Oh, okay.
Stand up in like the mid 2000s and launched it on stage and started pointing at black people and saying, these are N-word. These are N-word. And it's on, you should check out the clip on YouTube. It went viral, right? Killed his career that ever do stand up. You can't come back from
Yeah.
that.
That's
You know what I mean?
that's a nuclear bomb right there.
Yeah. So like you can't get mad at, and that's, I mean, for someone to say I did that is pretty outrageous. So I
Yeah.
got, I mean, kind of hurt. I got some flack online. I'm like being a sensitive little bitch, and then I just, ended up deleting all those motherfuckers because fuck that, block it out, right? I always delete negative shit. And then I just told myself I'll never freak out on stage again. At least, make it fun. Never get mad. So it's been a fucking journey, obviously. I just said like 5 stories, But to handle it, always with humor and always make sure the crowd is on your side and don't be too mean. Because then sometimes if you're too mean, the crowd's like, wow, this guy's, like...
Yeah, he's an asshole.
Yeah. So...
Really? I guess how did you, what gave you the courage to go on stage for the first time and do stand-up?
Good question.
Yeah, good question. I went to a show that was at a bowling alley.
Oh, sick.
And there was like 5 people there.
Hey.
And the guy hosting it had like a broken leg and crutches. And I just thought like I could do this. You know what I mean? Because I've always joked around with my friends and I've never taken life serious. If you don't take life serious, comedy is perfect for you. You're more about paying bills and you like to do drugs.
Oh shit, is that my time? No, I'm kidding.
Comedy, you'll fit in. Responsible people, I think they go do something that's not as because they're just kind of scary at first,
Yeah.
And it's a grind too. But where were we? What were we talking about?
The courage. You
said the courage.
Yeah.
You're dealing with the guy with no legs or something?
Yeah, no. Yeah. No. I just thought I saw this show. It wasn't like they didn't amaze me with their comedy, and I thought I could do it. And then the first time I did comedy, I took like 3 shots of vodka. I was doing
you were sad. You were sad to go.
Well, a lot of people that do comedy for the first time go up drunk.
Yeah. I understand.
Drunk. You don't want to do comedy drunk. I've done comedy where I had like 2 beers and then I went back to my recording. You can hear me slur.
Yeah, it doesn't sound nice.
Hospital bed, So, this freaking microphone just switched.
I can still hear you.
You can still.
Yeah. Oh, you got cut off. Wait.
Am I good?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know where the courage came from. I think my dad was funny, and I think I've always kind of had a sense of humor. And then I DJ'd for a little bit, and that's kind of I think a little harder lifestyle when you have like a family. Comedy is a little bit, but it's manageable, and it I feel like the comedy comes a little easier to me than music. If you're an artist, you're either a musician or you're not, So, I don't know where that courage comes from. I think doing it over and over again, you get used to it, and then you build up jokes that that work. And then now you can go on stage. Like I'm at that point where I could try new shit, and if it's not working, I got these old jokes that I've done all these shows, and I know it's gonna work. But then sometimes in rare moments, none of your jokes work. It could be the crowd, it could be outside, and it's freezing. With the pandemic and stuff, the comedian has dealt with. I did comedy at a park at Lake Merritt.
Wow, nice.
And no. Not
I didn't like it.
You gotta do crazy people, just on the grassy hill by the Fairyland sign.
Oh,
yeah. Crazy, crazy people walking by. People walking by, like, what the hell? And it's one of those, where this guy would just set up, and people would just be like, trying to picnic, trying to hook up with their girl, and the guy's like,
hey man, keep it down.
Hey, I want to tell you about the wife and kid.
What's up with that?
Like ruining, conception time, and
you're ruining someone else's kid. I'm kidding.
But the other thing too, what kind of keeps me. People have asked me like, why do you keep doing comedy? What gives you courage? And they keep going up there, and it's just like, what else would I be doing? Watching Netflix?
Dang, that's a
it takes me forever to find something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
it takes me forever to find something to watch, and I'm want to create before I get too old, and I'm in my early 30s, and I'm just like, the time is, because in your 20s you don't give a fuck. I got all the time in the world.
Yeah. We've been there.
I agree.
Okay, herpes, I'll get it $5.
I got medicine for that.
I'm in the 30s, but also I gotta have that balance with the family too. So that's, I can't, like, sometimes I can't look at the phone, and I'm sure everyone goes through this, but sometimes I can't look at the phone because I see other people doing gigs, and I'm with the family like, motherfucker, gosh damn, I should be out there. You know what I mean? I should be, but you gotta have that balance. That's unfair to my family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyways, I've answered like all questions.
I know. I love that question, and I kind of want to stick a little bit to it. Because when I was in school, like long time ago, 10 years ago, I was school, stuff like that. Went to college and stuff like that. There was this thing where they would have comedians, and this is like just right when the wokeism was starting to creep into like college, and they would have comedians and yeah, like I really enjoy it because I've always been a fan of comedy. Like I would always like sit up and watch Comedy Central Presents, like in my room, and then watch like they would have like old Dave Chappelle specials, and then Dave Chappelle show, all that stuff. So I've always been a fan of comedy. So when I would go to college, and I was like all these people being like, I'm offended, like I'm like, what is going on here? So I'm just kind of curious. I don't know if you have done any college shows or anything like that, but what are your thoughts of like college shows? Are they going to continue? Are they going to be dead in a few years? Just kind of what are your thoughts of like comedy, college shows, that kind of stuff?
I don't know when you guys graduated high school, but I remember when those people just kept their mouth shut.
Yeah.
They kind of frown at you and they wish friends. Now they got platforms. It's annoying. It's just like I talked about the PE teacher getting. I mean, that was kind of a woke moment for me. Like, come on, who takes their PE teacher job serious? And it's kind of with like, we can't take ourselves serious. Do you? Who cares what people think? You know what I mean? But then people care what they think, and they tell people. You know what? That's why I don't get in politics and stuff. It's so hard to change someone's mind. It's almost impossible. Most of the time, people are set on their ways, and I hate arguing with people. I just listen because it's too much. You know what I mean? And I've learned that with the pandemic. Trust me, with the parents and stuff, about BML and all this. You know what I mean? It's like you can't change an old person's views. They think they know everything. So with the woke thing, it is hard to change people's views. But I saw Dave Chappelle, and I think he came to San Francisco in like October, the Chase Center, and it was sold out, 20-something plus thousand people. No people protesting. What's that tell you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of. It's like 3% of people, but since it's online, it seems like it's way more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's just an illusion. I think once we get out of this pandemic, if we're not already out of it, I think people are hungry for comedy. I've been trying to produce more shows to build something up in the East Bay. Where are you guys at?
We're like in the deep East.
We're in Concord.
Concord, deep East.
You're in Concord?
Yeah.
I'm in Concord.
Yeah. That's funny because we're trying to figure out, right? Like, are you in Oakland? Are you in the South Bay? We're like, I wonder where he's from.
I'm in Concord.
Damn, represent. Concord cats, we're out here.
I'm right across from. Well, I shouldn't say.
I'm in facility now.
I'm in between Ignacio Valley and Ayers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So. Now I kind of gave it away.
No, I don't know. I kind of know, but I don't know.
Yeah, but
I have an idea.
Yeah. But that's cool. So, and what's interesting about California doing shows is there's areas that aren't woke. Like if you go out to Modesto, I did shows over the pandemic with out like 3 hours in the middle of nowhere, and I had the mask on, and I was going on stage. People calling me gay. I had a mask around my neck. and I'm from the Bay Area. So I
they
mean,
didn't
you
have
have
that
to hit people a little harder,
But
and
disco's
then you
different.
might do an area like Oakland
Yeah.
where you do have to kind of play to people, but still be yourself. You know what I mean? If you want to do well, you could just be yourself and bomb and offend people. I don't know. It depends what you want out of it, but you can't be scared. I would say majority of the time people aren't really stopping your shows.
Mm.
I just happen to do a really hippie kind of dippy. I'm trying to find the right words, you know.
No, that's my apologies. I was like, this guy's cool, man. You're cool, man.
Oh yeah. So I don't know if I answered the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I kind of.
I feel like you guys are cops, and I'm like, yeah. I was there, and
How many times have you done?
I was in an interrogation one time.
Oh really?
Police room, and I think I played pretty well because they let me go, and I was guilty. I was guilty as hell. I think. I mean, I want to get into acting, and I think all those times I was a fucking misfit in my 20s. I talk about on my podcast, Midnight in the Bay. I hope none of my family ever listens to that podcast. I was scoring off of hookers. What? No, it was a movie. No, but
You're doing a Tony Montana.
Yeah, don't do drugs.
Oh,
Yeah. So, anyways, I made it. I still had to get a lawyer and pay people back, but I made it through the police interrogation room.
Man, sick.
Shout out Pleasanton. Hey, Pleasanton PD.
I've had my own fair share with Pleasanton. Not very fun.
Yeah, I grew up there. You know.
Oh really?
It wasn't there. Actually, cops were kind of cool, but at the same time, they cracked down a lot. You know.
Yeah.
But suburbs, they know how to party. You know, the rich kids, they know how to party.
The big mansions, I'm guessing, and shit.
Oh yeah, you walk in those rich kid parties and they're handing you prescription pills like it's Altoids. So here you party. You're in there. Oh, we knew kids we used to call them etards. Did you know anyone's like that? Like kids that took ecstasy all the time?
No, our school was more weed.
No, they had different.
Really?
We have a different slang for it out here. It was like for a minute when the whole hyphy movement was going, everybody was taking this, but it was like ecstasy. Right. Now people say Molly.
Right.
Yeah. So those are the slangs. Yeah.
People were like mentally like because they took so much ecstasy, and this was like junior year of high school. I mean, people were taking ecstasy at the senior ball. I was sober.
Oh wow,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I had the worst senior ball. I took someone I didn't want to take. They're like, oh, because my girlfriend or the girl I was seeing ended up going with another guy, a friend. Oh yeah, asshole. You know. That guy ended up running naked down the street in LA, so I'm like, payback's a bitch, motherfucker. He got on drugs and now he's religious. I'm like,
my bad.
Go back.
So a booger came out.
Booger came out. Let me eat it.
He laughed so hard that he was snotting. It just kind of came out a little bit.
Nail me it. Let me eat it.
Yeah, he wants to eat it.
Oh man,
you're doing it.
Cool.
I stopped eating boogers.
Yeah, how funny, bro.
I stopped eating boogers last year.
Oh man,
we all have our moments.
With the mask on, you know.
You didn't poke holes in them, and just kind of.
You know, you'll go off in the car because I believe I'm courtesy. I'll pick my nose in the car and in the bathroom. But sometimes I'll go off in the car and I'm biting the fingernails at the same time because I'm
you're getting good bacteria in there.
I looked the other day and this lady was horrified. This guy's an animal. You know?
Hey, at least now you know she's a Karen.
And what's scary is people have phones too.
Oh yeah, you got caught doing that.
I mean,
I go viral for that reason.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could have gotten TikTok and had a GIF and all that.
It's like going viral for having sex badly. Imagine if your sex tape leaked with your girlfriend, it's you out of breath, huffing and puffing, falling
Like 2
over.
seconds in, bro.
Two pump chump.
Out.
No. Definitely
Oh,
not.
no, yeah.
I like the
I'm
drink.
That'd be funny,
An
man.
hour. I'm like an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It goes
The
up. it goes
ocean just
down.
to get it,
There's
get in
breaks.
there.
There's TV breaks with me. You know what I mean? I gotta take a TV break. You know? You get up to go pee. I'm watching TV. Oh my life.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I guess just to bring it back, I have a question. Where since you live out here in Concord, so for anybody who is like Concord, Antioch, Pittsburgh, where do you go like to perform? Because
Good question.
Oh yeah.
I thought you were like in Oakland. So if you're here, like where do you go?
Good call to bring that up right now. I got these little. I don't know if people could see. I got this business card. So
Oh, nice.
Fat Kid Comedy.
FKC.
It's kind of like the KFC. But I got these cards, Fat Kids at Heart, and Jordan Kirshner is the guy I run the shows with.
Oh, sick.
And we got a show going on at Retro Junkie.
Oh, what Rwanda Creek?
But we're kind of having issues getting people there. We were doing fine during the summer. We're doing outdoor shows, and those are all right. But once it went in, not much has gone on, and we haven't got a lot of support. So I don't know how long I'll be doing shows there, but I'm looking for more venues. I need to hit up more breweries, but I do shows all over the place.
Sick.
But the Fat Kid Comedy, why I brought it up is we're trying to build it. Like we had a show in Fairfield last night that went well. And we're trying to build up that room at Pioneer Tap Room. It's gonna be every third Saturday of the month. So our next one's the 19th, I think, of March.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's a cool one. And this room's kind of, I mean, we had like 50 people, but the room's small, and that feels like a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Small rooms.
right. So, and then we're just trying to find more rooms, but I do shows randomly because it's like whatever comedian's hosting a show or running a show. I love Tommy T's in Pleasanton, but I haven't done one of their shows for a minute. But whenever I'm there, it's like I feel like I do better because sometimes the bigger the crowd, the more nervous I get and more like energy. Sometimes you perform better with the nervousness. That's the other thing part of comedy too, is dealing with that and learning. And it's not drinking a bunch. Some comedians drink a lot before they go on stage, and you don't want to get in a habit of doing that. I'll have a beer, maybe one little hit of grandma's.
Oh, chase the dragon.
You gotta warm up.
There's that balance. You hit it a little bit, and, okay. But
there you go.
too much, it's not good. So, but yeah, all over. I mean, Instagram _Alex Woody Comedy. I put them up there, but yeah, people are running shows in the city. I don't do San Francisco a lot. I wish I did, but it's very cliquey. See, that's the thing about comedy. I don't know if that's like with music too, but like, it can get very cliquey where like they don't want to get you on a show.
Really?
Friends or whoever can help them get to.
Oh, it's like a networking type of thing.
Well, it is a networking thing too.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard like once let's say I get a new room and it's really dope, like 200 people are going or something all the time. I bet you these people would hit me up. Oh, you want to do our show? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of backstabby.
Yeah.
Slimy.
It's a big competition.
Slimy.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. I mean, if you love it, it's worth it. So.
Yeah, because if you make it, man, then screw it. Like,
I want to see you on Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay, next year. I want to see you on.
Honestly, I don't even want to make it. I just want to come out with because you can come out with a special on YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even need to do Netflix. And I want to come out with a special, like maybe after like 10 years of doing comedy, where I'm like really good. You know what I mean? They say it's better the wait. And then, because I knew a guy that did a comedy special early, like just a CD, and he was doing some big bits that have already been done. So that's another thing with comedy when you're newer is you may do some, they call it hacky bits, but it's not your fault. You're just kind of new, and you haven't observed the smaller things in life. No, it's like the even smaller things that people, you hear a joke, you're like, some guys have the joke on, let's just say like doorknobs or something. You wouldn't think that, or like a view on like, let's say the war and something you wouldn't think of. That's what makes a good comedian. Everyone has a take, one funny take, you know, like the obvious take, that's what's considered hacky. But no one's perfect. You know what I mean? It's hard to.
Well,
But
like,
yeah,
oh, sorry. Like, I was gonna say, like, because when women, when women were coming up in comedy, like, they're like one of the, I guess, one of the hacks, I guess, was for them to like do a lot of like sex jokes because that was hitting, right?
yeah,
That was kind of like an
yeah. I
example.
mean, I do sex jokes too. I don't know. I like sex. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like I don't know. It's like a feeling up there. Sometimes I can't plan everything I'm gonna do, but like I don't know. Sex is relatable too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have heard that like, oh, it's hack to be dirty and stuff. But I don't know.
It works. It works, right? I mean, that's
Yeah, I know. You know, and if you enjoy it, it's just the other thing too is it is good to work clean because then you get those corporate gangs that pay a lot.
Mm.
People are telling me to hit up some cannabis places because some of those private cannabis functions you get paid thousands of dollars.
you're talking about YouTube. I think Andrew Schultz did that, right? Wasn't he the first one to actually be really successful in
Yeah, now everyone's doing it,
yeah.
and they're getting their names. I mean, that's the thing about. I don't really think you have to move to LA or New York anymore. You know, like for comedy and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you can send in your auditions for acting. I feel like and gigs. I mean, I don't know how clubs see you. I guess if they see you online or if you go viral. I mean, even clubs will book YouTube sensations that don't even have a comedy background.
Hmm.
Actually, kind of pisses off stand-up people that grind and do these crappy open mics and stuff, and then you see a guy that just goes viral and gets stage time.
That's
That
crazy.
kind of stinks. But I think about I mean, what if I came up with a character that goes viral that could help me get in the Tommy T's more or the Punchline? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get it. It's just part of the game now. There's a lot to it now. It's more than just being seen. You have to like be a producer. You got to make little clips and film everything, and then do like a podcast. You know,
Yeah. Join other people's podcasts. Maybe get your word out like that.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You're on the right path, man. You're good.
Yeah. So been doing it for a little bit. I lucked out with the podcast. What really helps me is you gotta have something that keeps you accountable because I know this guy from high school that was doing a video game podcast. And he
Hmm.
said he wanted to he wants to be like a writer or something. And so he's kind of using this as a resume, but he wanted to start like a podcast label
Hmm.
and Silver Tongue Audio and put the podcast up there too. So he's got his podcast and then my podcast and then this other guy's podcast. And I have to turn in the podcast every Monday.
Oh, snap.
So I have to be consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole thing with the podcast thing is being consistent and then like I would say quality. I need to get a camera. You know what I mean? So it's just doing the podcast and upgrading. I mean, I used to do no video, was doing it in my car just with the phone.
Mm.
So I've come a little bit. I mean,
No, but
yeah.
that's cool because like anybody who has that idea or aspirations to even start a podcast, I mean, you started with just your phone. Like you can start with anything, but as long as you stay with it,
Yeah, that's what we learned too. Like just consistency is so important and you'll get a lot further.
And to have fun.
Yeah.
Too. I feel like also, and that goes with comedy too. If you just have fun up there, sometimes it's like, and you're not worrying about what you're saying and stuff. Sometimes it's better because people are like, "Oh wow, he's having fun up there. I'm gonna laugh." I try to do that with the podcast too, because also I'm not like having millions of followers, or listeners, so I really don't have to worry too much what I say.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll be able to go back though for sure with me. But now you don't. But that's the powerful thing about the comedian is now you can build your own thing where you don't really have to worry about. I mean, look at Joe Rogan's not gonna get canceled.
Yeah.
He kind of built his own thing. I mean, Spotify is backing him up, but like Andrew Schultz and stuff, like he kind of built his own thing. He doesn't really have to answer to anyone. So that's kind of cool thing. And the podcast is like, I'm not good with business, and that's another thing you kind of have to learn about with this. But you could build it up where it's You don't really. You're your own boss. You know, or maybe Spotify's your boss. I don't know.
That's true.
100 million, screw it.
Yeah, I would cash that check quick.
Man.
Would it be on hookers and?
I wish I could be a deviant. Unfortunately, I have, what's that thing, like a conscience?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if I did anything.
I always forget about that sometimes.
Oh shit, my light. If I did anything behind the wife's back, I would be like, I'd be thinking about it all the time, like, oh, you asshole, I can't believe you did it.
Yeah.
You know, how could you hook up with a black tranny in the car?
Especially in the Bay Area, you never know.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, how could you do it? You got a wife. The wife lets me do comedy, and the wife sometimes lets me put in.
But it feels organic.
So
that's a good point about the Punchline. I was at one point, wasn't it like supposed to get like closed, or I heard some news about because of the COVID and the shutdowns, like people were like fighting for it.
Oh yeah, there was some. No, there was something to do with the rental.
Oh, okay.
And Dave Chappelle came out. They marched on City Hall. I didn't go. I have to work.
Oh shit.
There's comedians that I don't know if they live off of welfare or a mom, but I gotta work. I gotta work. I got a 9 to 5. But they marched on a Tuesday at like noon. I'm like, I can't go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't leave. But yeah, I don't know what happened, but I mean, overall, they kept the Punchline there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where to get in at the Punchline, you have to go Sunday nights and watch the other comedians, and then eventually they put you up there. And then if you get past, you can open up for big time people there. And they have one in Sacramento, and then they have Cobb's. They run Cobb's, which is another comedy club in San Francisco, which I've performed at. I've never performed at Punchline, but Cobb's I have. And so that's a goal of mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a club that closed, Rooster T. Feathers.
Yeah, I heard about that on the radio.
And they closed, and I thought they should come back. That was a good room, and they would get big acts, So, but yeah, Tommy T's, they close their shows during the week because a lot of times I'm at that level where I'm doing amateur shows too, and those are during the week, and then they have the big headliners come in on the weekends. So a lot of shows I'm doing are like Thursdays, which are still fine. People are going out. And so I'm hoping they bring those back. So I may have a show. Well, actually, never mind. I will be having a show with Kabir Singh soon. I used to do shows with him, but I just realized the date that he gave me is probably not going to work. So that's what that pause.
Do you ever go down to LA out there? Because I know there's big clubs out there, right? There's the Laugh Factory.
Yeah, I don't really know too many people down there. So I'm gonna have to build that up.
Okay.
I'm sure they get hit up all the time. Hey, can I do your room? If I'm gonna do a show in LA, I gotta make gas money.
Worth the travel.
Right. And I'm wondering now, because times are different, I wonder if, it's good to travel and go. I've done shows in Reno.
Oh, same.
I'm like, I feel like California is like big enough where you can do enough shows for enough demographic of people where your stuff can get good. Because that's why comedians travel the U.S. is they try jokes on different groups of people and they get it to work for all groups of people, so it'll kill on Netflix or whatever or on a special. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And California's got that. You got the woke people in the cities, the non-woke people out in the valley.
And then if you go all the way to Shasta, you got people that are just one color.
Yeah, hippie. I did a show in Ukiah, which is kind of up there recently, and they're kind of fun, but you could tell they're partying. And I joked about meth, and they were dying. They were.
Are you sure you weren't on it?
No. I like to eat. Heavy meth guy. I used to do coke, and there's things I didn't like about it. One of them was I could never eat. You know what I mean? You never eat on coke.
Can't eat, can't take a shit. Two good things in life.
I love both of those.
I know, right?
Sometimes I'll hit the little weed in the morning with coffee, and it just flies out.
You gotta clean yourself out. So I guess just another question on it. How did you get into making a lot of skits? Like do you and like obviously you enjoy them? I hope, right? You hope.
Yeah,
like,
no. I like them. Just like if I
Yeah.
have free time on the weekend, like I don't know, I feel like pressured to put out stuff.
Mm.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
You're competing with people putting out content every day.
Mm.
So, and the goal is to get views and subscribers. And so I try to put stuff out just to stay like relevant. You know.
Stay in the algorithm.
But I do have to be kind of inspired, you know what I mean, by
Mhm.
something. So, there's one I'm gonna be working on soon, but like I have a guy that films stuff too, but I gotta like make sure it's all written out and stuff before he'll do it, you know. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess just always trying to have a good time and like film it, you know.
Let's go.
Yeah, the kid, you know, he's probably when he's older he won't want to do skits, but right now he thinks it's funny. So
Yeah, like I think the one you did where you took a picture, like I think it was like nut. It was something to do with nut. You made
Oh,
a joke
yeah.
out of it. Like
No nut zone or something.
like did that just like did the idea just come in your head or like how did that come up? Fucking that was pretty
nut.
that was sick. Just the high idea behind it. I think it was like the no nut or something like that.
No nut. Trying to remember.
Like a sign.
Mhm.
It was like a sign that's on the fence. Yeah.
Yeah. I so that was at my son had a basketball game. He plays in the Catholic Church League. We're not Catholic, but it's a better CYO is like really good, like better than city leagues, I was told. So let's get him in the private leagues, whatever. And we went to a school to play another team, and they had that. I had never seen that before. It's for nut allergies. And my wife always says I'm a nut because I'm joking around and stuff. And so that's how my brain connected. I'm like, no, or nut free zone. And it's like me, like regular rolls, you know. I don't know. That's how my brain works with stuff when I see stuff, you know. So, yeah, that's why I kind of like. I mean, I don't know how many kids listen to this, but I like weed because it makes me. Sometimes alcohol too. It makes you kind of loosen up a little bit, and then you can look at stuff a little differently, you know. So,
Yeah, give it like a double meaning.
Oh, hard to find something funny sober.
Are you telling me you're not in the military?
Oh my god. I'm a pussy. I had the mustache yesterday and I was telling lady, oh yeah, I'm training to be a cop. She's like, no, you're not. You're not. You could tell I'm weak.
You show her the donuts.
Yeah, I love the donuts, but she was like the mental part. I don't know. I'm like, yeah, right. I would fold. So, anyways, but yeah, I'm having fun. This is fun. The podcast. This is great.
Hell yeah.
So what do you guys just usually interview people or?
Yeah, we've interviewed so far. Like the last person that we interviewed his name was George Coster. He was kind of like a community, I would say, advocate. Kind of helps with the nonprofits and kind of does a podcast to do with like that kind of stuff.
This is way different than
And then the person before that was Jim, and then he has like an acting school. We didn't even know, but he has like an acting school, and he helps like people get into acting here in the Bay Area because apparently there's a lot of opportunity out here.
Hit me up _Alex Woody Comedy.
Yeah, we're gonna make that link.
Yeah, let that link.
Yeah, link it up.
Let's do it. I know you wanted to ask about the podcast, right? The 222 with what's his name? Corde Snell.
With
Corde?
Yeah.
Corde.
Yeah.
Mission on it.
Yeah.
What was my question? I can't remember.
We kind of touched on it earlier with.
Yeah. I feel like my question, you answered them. Like a lot of questions I had, you answered them as you were talking. I was like, oh, cool.
maybe because I do a podcast, I kind of know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hear these stories so many times. No, no, just I've done shows too with Corday, and usually people don't really heckle him because he's a big dude. I
Mhm.
mean, this guy played football. He's a big black dude, and he looks like a security guard. That's one of his jokes. And yeah, this guy kept talking, and he got the crowd to say "fuck JP." That was the guy's name. And then afterwards, I had a picture with it. Afterwards, the guy bought a T-shirt from him, the heckler,
Oh, what the
Oh
heck?
wow.
and we
Nice.
took a picture. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's good. That's what a comedian should do: is turn an awkward show ending maybe situation and making it where people enjoyed it and making that guy a fan. You know.
Yeah.
So Corday's been doing comedy for over 10 years. So I mean, that's the little things you learn, and it's just from experience.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I'm like a free speech like absolutist, in the sense of like,
Yeah.
even if somebody has opposing view that's like way out there, like almost conspiratorial, I'm like, okay, like that's like, once you start censoring speech, it becomes tricky, right? Because then you got to ask yourself, who is in charge of, who can say whose opinion is better or worse, and that's like a very tricky thing. And
Well, and it is tricky because then people say it's hate speech.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
where do you draw the line? But you're right. Once you start drawing the lines, do they stop? And now we're in, like, these other countries like China and like North Korea and these places that like limit what people can see. I don't want to get to that.
yeah.
And I mean, the problem is with the internet is crazy people go on there. I mean, honestly, if a guy really believes that Hitler was God, and that's, as long as they're not like going out and hurting people, I think let them do their stupid thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and it's just like what you said with the conspiracies. Like, Alex Jones, he gets in
Yeah.
trouble.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He got in trouble saying that elementary school thing was like, fake and all that, and kids died, so people got all up in arms. But he has the freedom to say those crazy
Yeah.
things. You
Exactly.
don't have to listen to it. And that's the whole thing. People are like, well, I don't like it, so no one can like it.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think that's wrong. So yeah, it is. But then I don't really want to hear all that shit too. And I don't want really Nazis out there where, like, my kid can maybe listen. But here's the thing: teach your fucking kids.
Yeah. Exactly.
It is going to be out there you cannot control. Teach them the way so they can maneuver it.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I
Or
mean?
have either that or have public debate, because when you don't have public debate, that's what happens, and you just have one video over here in someone's algorithm, and then you have another video over here in a different algorithm, and so they never no one gets to see both videos. They're all kind of in two different bubbles,
Right.
and so
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like no empathy, none of that.
no debate, no
Yeah.
combating of ideas, rather.
Right. I'm looking over here because I think the cat's trying to get out.
Nah, no.
He'll
Worries.
start meowing if he needs to take a shit. That's what we all do. Yeah.
Or say,
I
"Move,
had a
bitch."
building during the pandemic. I was trying to use the bathroom of a place and they were locked, and I was like, "Let me in." I was like a cat, like, yeah. Ended up going in the parking lot.
Nice.
I'm leaving thinking no one saw me, and I look up and there was a camera right on that area.
Oh, shit.
I couldn't sleep because I thought I'd get caught for a shit and run. I thought I'd be arrested. My kids would be ashamed of me.
Or to be on the 5 o'clock news,
Hang on a second. I gotta call the maid. Call the maid real quick. The servant real quick. Hey, I'm still doing the podcast, but can you let Hazy out?
I'm at the store.
Oh, he's trying to get out right now. He's pulling on your bra. He's ripping your bra apart. All right, I gotta go.
Thanks. Bye.
Great. I can't. I'm trying to make it look like I'm in an office, but I'm in the corner of our bedroom, and I can't get over there. Whatever. If he shits on the ground, I got spray, and he's not even one yet. I'm teaching him how to hold it. The cat, not my cat.
If you shit here, it's all good.
He's hazy because that's named after my favorite beer. See, look at this. What? You need to get out? Oh, the light.
Hey,
Look at that.
what's
This is
up?
him. This is him. And you know what I've never gotten either is, you always see villains with cats on their laps,
Dr. Evil.
You're not evil. You're taking care of a pet. If you're really evil, you're killing a cat every time you
Yeah, that's true.
You're not petting a cat and taking care of it and shit. You're not going like this. You know what I mean? So they need to change that in movies. But I think he just came over to say, like, dude, when do you let me out? I'm gonna crap my pants.
I hear you.
He's probably hungry.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we can respect his time too then. I guess if you don't have any other questions.
Yeah, do rapid fire.
All right. So we're just gonna do rapid fire real quick, just 5 quick questions.
Okay.
All right. So first question, favorite color.
Favorite what?
Color.
Favorite color? Black. For my people,
Favorite number.
And it hides your body fat. Fat guys, you always see them wearing all black because it thinks it camouflages. This motherfucker is trying to sit in the light. Talk
about a starlight.
Portland person right
there
now.
We go.
Okay, there we go. So favorite color, black. What was the other question?
Favorite number.
Favorite number, 7.
Ooh. Favorite wrestler growing up.
You guys thought I was gonna say 69. Favorite wrestler growing up, Stone Cold.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, that's how I enter parties. I chug beer.
With your motorcycle? Or?
Hey, does anybody do that in your? Does anybody do that at at the comedy shows? Like when they enter, just glass breaking.
I can do it. I'm doing it now.
That'd be sick. That'd be sick.
Let's do it. I want to see that.
Get a hell yeah.
I'm doing that now.
Okay. Favorite comedian.
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
Ron Williams.
Ron Williams.
Yeah, because his impersonations, they're like
God,
killer.
so good.
Yeah, and the energy too.
He's the best. He's the best genie Aladdin will ever have.
Oh my! Did you watch the new one? The new
yeah.
One? Get out of here, Will Smith.
Yeah, he was decent, but Robin Williams had a different type of energy that nobody can match.
We look at Will Smith's kids, and you're like, where was the dad? You know what I mean? All right. I like Will Smith. I like him.
Will Smith, we want you on the podcast.
We like you, Willow. Jada, we love you, Jada.
All right. Last one is a favorite Bay Area spot. So it can be like a bar, it can be a view, it can be somewhere a restaurant. My favorite Bay Area spot.
I do like the what is that? Snake Road, Grizzly Peak.
Yeah.
That looks over the whole Bay Area. Between
by Berkeley.
Berkeley, that road on the top of the hill.
Yeah, I call it Fish Ranch. What'd you call it?
Fish
Snake
Ranch.
Road? Yeah,
Snake Road.
Snake Road. That sounds cool too. It reminds me of
I don't
Dragon
know.
Ball.
I could have made that up.
It reminds me of Dragon Ball. That's why.
That's a cool spot, especially to take a date. You know what I mean?
I've been there.
Lock the doors.
Mark your territory.
Oh my God! Yeah. A lot of dead babies up there, but
in plastic or
joke. No, one time I was up there and just to take a lunch break, and this guy got pissed. He's like, get out of here. He was like trying to get head or something from this girl. I don't know.
Oh, he got mad at you?
He got mad at me. Yeah.
Bro, just chilling.
I gotta eat my togos here.
You focus on that girl giving you a snack. Don't worry about me.
There used to be for food. I haven't been there since the pandemic, but there used to be a good chicken place next to the movie theater in Concord.
The Brendan Theater.
the Brendan Theater. Next to it, there's like this little like fried chicken, Korean chicken place.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's still there, but that was great.
Is it, I think it was it called I Love Teriyaki or something like that? Or
I
something
don't even
else?
remember the name. It was in Chinese or something. It was cool, yeah, or Korean. But yeah, I don't. There's a lot of good places in the Bay.
Yeah.
Questions are hard. They're not rapid fire. You can't rapid.
They start out quick and then they and then they get a little hard.
What's the best Mexican in Concord?
Man, you want to talk about a trick question?
Well, it's got to be on Monument, right?
Yeah.
Monument.
Monument has at least like a 12 places.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I actually thought it would be cool to do like a taco show, or to do where you hit all. Oh no, he's crying. Where you hit. All right, motherfucker. Where you hit all those spots, you know?
Yeah. Well, there's a place, I forgot what it was called, off of Monument. It used to be a dance club. Michoacan.
No, La Cabaña. Yeah, it's like La Cabaña. I don't know if it's open now, but yeah, it's a nightclub there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Monument?
Yeah, off of Monument. Yeah, it's like in the same plaza where it's like right by the McDonald's on Monument.
Is it safe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
it's decent. I wouldn't say you need to carry a gun, but
yeah. I wouldn't say it's that.
I got knives. I got butter knives.
That's fine.
Yeah, you'll be cool. Yeah, let's say I would say it's cool. It's like I say Retro Junkie's like a 10, so they're probably like a 7 out of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're cool. Yeah, cause Retro Junkie's cool. Yeah.
Well, I think there's even a thing called the Concord Taco Trail, where you can look up all the places in Concord where they have like all the best places of tacos.
Oh,
now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. I'll be doing that this week.
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
For sure.
Taco Trail, and at the end you have diabetes.
Congratulations, you made it in life.
Yeah. Here's a hospital bill. Yeah. I know I gotta eat better. But anyways, that's another podcast.
That'll be part 2.
Yeah.
All right, those are all my rapid fire questions.
And I just have one last question. And what does the Bay Area mean to you?
Well, I feel passionate enough about it where I don't want to leave. You know, I have friends that left. Oh, you gotta leave. It's too expensive. Come to Reno. Ugh. The Bay Area is probably one of the greatest places on earth. I've been to a lot of places in the United States, and this is probably the best place. You know, it's just comfortable, exciting, and fun, I guess. I don't know. You can have a lot of fun here too, you know. But yeah, the Bay Area just means a lot. I lived in San Diego, and it just didn't feel the same, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So, but yeah, like I said, I went on road trips as a kid, and like you go to the south, it's like humid. You go, you know, I guess Bay Area too, weather.
Yeah.
You know, I know we've been having the fires lately, which is kind of crazy, but
yeah,
I don't know if I answered that right. I don't know.
Well, it's your interpretation, so there's no right or wrong.
Yeah. You got
home is the first word. I mean, family. I grew up here. I know it. You know, I don't want to go. People ask me all the time, you can have a house for $2 in Arkansas. I'm like, I don't. It's humid there. There's big bugs. People are racist. For the most part, we don't really have like racism here. You know what I mean? Compared to other places, like we a lot of like we do have crime, but like. For the most part, people do have money here. You go to some parts of the country and people are living in shacks. Right. You know, I just went to Mexico. I mean, that everyone in the United States should go to Mexico, not just the tourist spot, because then you see how people live, you know. But I love the Bay. You know. So.
That's it. All right, Alex. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time and coming on.
Yeah,
it was a blast.
Yeah, it was
yeah, send me the podcast when it's up, and I'll post about it and stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll make sure to we'll tag you on YouTube, IG, all the good stuff too.
Oh yeah. Where can people find you at? Actually, yeah, where can people find you at?
So go to my Instagram _AlexWoodyComedy, and I have that link tree at the top of my page, and it has my YouTube links, and then it has podcast links for Apple, Spotify, and that Silver Tongue audio website I was telling you about. Whoops, my light.
It's all good.
Yeah, Cat's playing with it. He's like, "Are you done yet?" I got shit. So, anyways, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
No, thank you, and we appreciate you. See you.
Yeah, man. Take care.
Yeah, see
Thank you.
Adios.